Hello, I'm Laura McHarrie at The Hidden Edge.
And I'm Nigel Davey from SME Needs, and this is one of our 10-minute business podcasts. Today we're talking with Caroline Brewer, a director of Inner Compass, a community interest company that has been set up to support well-being in the community. And Caroline is also an author and coach.
Caroline, I'm so delighted that you've joined us for today's podcast. I've just finished reading your first book, More Than You Think, which explores what you experienced on your journey to clarity, purpose, and peace of mind as you embraced the three principles. For our audience, please tell us a bit more about those principles and how they link to what it is that you deliver both at Inner Compass and as a coach.
Well, hello, Laura, and hello, Nigel. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And it still warms the cockles of my heart when I hear someone say, I've just read your book, because that's really quite exciting for me. I think the best way to start is to just explain a bit about my career and how it changed significantly about 6 years ago when I came across these principles as you're referring to and as are in my book. So I've been in HR for about 30 something years. The first 15 I was in the corporate world as an HR director, and then the last 15 were spent as an independent consultant. And I suppose I would probably say the biggest focus of my time in HR has been about training and developing managers, leaders, focused very much on performance and potential. Then about 6 years ago, as I say, I came across these principles and I suddenly realized that I had missed the key factor, and that is seeing the role of thought in our, if you like, in our perceptions of the world. And since that time, all of my work now is focused on sharing this understanding. My most recent development has been as director of Inner Compass, and we are delivering programs online to support people in the community to listen for well-being.
Caroline, that was great. Our community consists of small business owners, some of whom will be undoubtedly suffering from the constant fear of what's around the next corner, how they might pay their bills, and they'll be concerned about their sort of family of staff. How might the Inner Compass program support them through this crisis?
There is a lot of suffering at the moment, in particular, given the current circumstances. There's uncertainty. And, you know, we've heard the term unprecedented times so many times, but it is that uncertainty, I think, that creates the sufferings. The key thing about the principles is that it's our thinking and our mood which changes our perception of the world, rather than how we might have misunderstood in the past, thinking that something outside of us, so something that's happening in the world, like the coronavirus, can actually cause us to suffer. So when we see that it's our thinking that is actually causing us to suffer, then we can reclaim, if you like, the power over our own level of suffering. So the key thing that we're pointing to through the programs is that we all have the innate well-being and resilience within us. It's already there. It's built into the system. And what happens is that our thinking, our low mood state, gets in the way, covers that up, that we already have everything that we need to sort out any issue that comes along. So if we let our thinking settle, we don't get so caught up in this fantasy thinking, which is what happens when we are insecure or uncertain about the future. We then fill our heads with lots of thinking, and that can get in the way of that inner resilience and wisdom
So, Caroline, how would you sum up the differences between traditional approaches to well-being and what you refer to as the inside-out understanding of well-being?
Well, so if you think about what I said right at the beginning in terms of my career, so I used to deliver training to managers and tell them that if they did this, this, and this, then they would get a certain outcome. So motivation, for example, I shudder now at the thought that I used to train managers how to motivate their employees. But that's very much the focus on an outside in. I suppose one way of explaining it is if I get that technique, I'll be better at motivating my people. If I get that customer, that will sort out my problems and I'll have that outcome. But actually, that's not how it works. It's my thinking that creates that fantasy and keeps me stuck in that uncertainty. So now it's about uncovering that, pointing people towards it, encouraging them to see for themselves that they have it, rather than, as I was in the past, trying to give them something to fix what I saw as a problem or a lack that they have. I no longer think that anyone's got a lack. Goal setting is a particular example. I used to recommend, and indeed did myself, set goals at the beginning of the year. Then I would beat myself up if I didn't achieve the goals. So there was something about attaching more than was necessary to the outcome. So if I didn't get what I said I was going to get, particularly from a SMART goal perspective, then I had failed and I wasn't a good enough coach or business person. So now what I see is that goal setting is still useful because it enables us to order some of our thoughts, but I no longer put any store by actually achieving the outcome.
Thanks, Caroline. So getting ourselves in the right frame of mind is the first step, I'm assuming. Getting others to open up and listen is therefore the second.
Absolutely. Listening for well-being, which is the focus of the online courses that we're doing through Inner Compass, is a completely different way of listening. And it's about seeing that everybody has that capacity within themselves. So we don't listen to fix them. We don't listen to, when we're listening for well-being, we're not listening to interrupt or to give them any solutions. We really are listening to enable them to settle their own thinking so that then they can get the insights themselves as to what the answer is. It's a really nourishing way of understanding how the human system works. We are designed to thrive. This goes for us too, listening to ourselves. We can, when we understand how this works, we can become observers of our own thinking. I can't tell you how powerful that is, because then we can say to ourselves, this will pass. This insecure thinking will pass, and I will, in the moment, know what to do. So we can do that for ourselves and for our colleagues, our families, whoever happens to be in our community. And, that's community in the broadest sense of the word. We're working with people in schools, teachers. So, of course, teachers are themselves in uncertain waters and are very concerned about their own safety and obviously the well-being of their pupils. We're working with them to listen to them so that they can get in touch with their own resilience and well-being, and then they can help the children. And we're also working with the kids to help them to understand that, yes, we can't know the future, but we don't need to torture ourselves with our thinking. Let me give you one example of myself. I almost don't like to admit this, and again, I don't know how many people on the call might resonate with this, but I didn't used to like picking up the phone and making business calls. I know it sounds crazy. I could procrastinate forever about why I shouldn't make that phone call at that particular time. And in particular, this will be inconvenient for the person at the end of the phone. They might be doing something else. Well, how do I know that? Why would I even torture myself with that sort of thinking? So now I don't do that anymore because I can't know what the other person is thinking. I just pick up the phone and I might say something like, is this a convenient time? So if you like, I'm using some of that thinking, but I don't need to let it dwell and build into something that is fantasy.
Caroline, thank you so much for sharing those ideas with us. It would be great if our listeners can make contact with you if they need to. How might they do that?
Through my website, which is www.designedtothrive.co.uk, where the 2 is the number 2. So designedtothrive.co.uk. And through the website, they can access events. And we are on the 17th of November running a free online workshop to explain more about the wellbeing listener programs that we're running through Inner Compass.
Thank you very much. So that's me, Nigel Davey from SME Innate.
And me, Laura McHarrie at The Hidden Edge. Please do make contact with any of us for sound business advice whenever you feel you need it. Oh, and please don't forget to comment on or like, follow and share this podcast.